What's up guys, it's Kells and I'm bringing you another video today, 3-day upload streak. Really pat myself on the back for that one. In all seriousness, I'm excited to talk to you about a very big update that's coming for the character Aizen, but in addition to that, some of the system or game mechanics that we have in the game. So let's just start off with the game news, of course. So, beginning December 19th, 5 o'clock EST, log in to receive 2 spiritual nourishers and 300 jade. Love it. The release of the big boy himself, Sosuke Aizen. It'll be interesting to see if the summoning data for how much revenue the application generates as we go through other characters like Grimmjow, Yamamoto, Gin, etc. And now for the actual version mechanic updates. So, first and foremost, the addition of Aizen, a powerful mid-range DPS with both area of effect, damage, and tactical support abilities. And I want to highlight that because as I have reviewed his kit off screen, his battlefield skill can be played in one of two ways. His battlefield has 2 different abilities, which are gained depending on whether Aizen himself is on field or if he's off field. So that's extremely exciting and interesting. So he excels at breaking defense and chaining combos, and thanks to his powerful skills and Hyoka Suigetsu, he can dive into battle precisely and to unleash rapid suppressive attacks. So, of course, he comes with his own weapon stamp and his own core stamp, and additionally, they're introducing a new set stamp for him. And just as a quick reminder, because with 3 different types of stamps, it gets very confusing. So the set stamp would be this piece here, and actually a better demonstration of that would be going to the Realm of Mutation. So the set stamp here, Ichigo, Renji, Kisuke, Ikaku, etc. So Aizen's getting his own stamp because he's just that special. Where was I? Moving on. So a new Sosuke Aizen event, interlude, challenge, daily, the exact copy I expect of the Toshiro event, so make sure you do it because it's an abundant source of resources for everyone. And a store update, a new training log, which I assume is the battle pass, time will tell. New weekly limited pack, the corridor key, that's mostly for whales, and it is a good thing because corridor keys are very hard to come by, and the system is being reworked to be more advantageous for us, so more to come on that. And then a new weekly limited pack, stamp star upgrade box, a new trial box, and level boost box for 60, 65, 70, so that's pretty cool stuff. And now on the 26th, a special celebration check-in, and this is really cool for reasons we'll see in a moment. Excitingly, they are optimizing certain characters. So Toshiro Hitsugaya, they are reducing his cooldown by 4 seconds, which is quite a substantial buff, 17% give or take. And while his Shikai is active, a counterattack charge rate goes from 20 to 100%, which I think is really great because obviously one counterattack will instantly fill up your spiritual pressure bar, which lets you use Hyoen Maru, the dragon attack, so that's great. Yorichi, they are increasing her level 3 passive from 20 to 30%. I don't have her leveled up, so I can't speak to how much better she'll play after the patch, but it does mean when I do level her up and actually play with her team, I'll have an accurate feeling for how she is, so that's awesome. Finally, leveling up the counterattack damage for Yorichi. Sajin Komomura, let's see here. Strike damage boost after releasing the ultimate gets a damage increase from 30 to 40. That's great. Make him more viable. And then the damage of the counterattack being buffed. Byakuya Kuchiki, slash damage boost applied by all attacks. Increase from 20 to 30. That's great. Increasing the counterattack. Well, Byakuya is not the main DPS of the slash team. Of course, we can't complain about enabling him to deal more damage. And I'm not going to read the patch notes for the SR characters, Ichigo, Initial, Shikai, Uryu, Chad, Renji, and Ishida, because they're effectively the same thing. 10 or 15%, well, Chad's is 30 because he's a Giga Chad, but effectively they're boosting the damage of their skills, and everyone gets a counterattack buff, which I think is great because ideally, in a perfect world, of course, you'd have a team with nothing but SSR characters. But making the SR characters more competitive, of course, you can't complain because Momo and Rukia are amazing support characters, and occasionally they're on field when you need to counterattack. So, free damage buff, that's awesome. And version event. So, for the bonus events, Mirror Treasure 7-day check-in, log in to get summoning tickets for both the weapon and character, and the first 5 clears per day in training supplies. So that could be con, ascension materials, I imagine both weapon and character. They give you double rewards. That's awesome. A bingo event, earn scratch tickets, scratch to win, ton of materials. We'll have to see how they implement it, but I imagine it's just bingo. Fated meeting. During the event, the first 3 clears per day in Realm of Mutation, double rewards. This is awesome because once you guys reach level 45, or if you're already there, you have to grind out the stamps for your characters, and hoping for good good effects. And it's very frustrating to get 3 good effects and the 4th is bad, or you only get 1 good and 3 are bad, because of course it costs so much to run these events that when you get a bad piece, you really feel it. You feel the sting. Snowball Assault. Use snowballs, freeze and slam the enemies. Jade and generous rewards. We love that. Orihime's Culinary Whimsies. A cooking event to get Jade and generous resources. Love that. Amazing. Okay, so now that we're through the exciting version update details, it's time to discuss Aizen himself, and there's a lot to say. His kit is extremely exciting. So, gotta go to Google. Thought I had this pulled up, but I didn't. You guys get to see that. Fortunately, I don't read Spanish just yet. And also, I do want to highlight the Spanish wiki because this is an excellent community resource. I've struggled to find places to go for patch notes, character details, and stuff like that. So really appreciate the wiki and everything that the community's doing to keep it relevant. So Aizen's going to be a tactical unit and with a spirit typing. Obviously, he's a Shinigami. So very quickly, just to touch on his role as a tactical, I think it's great because tactical and support units will not be power crept or pushed out of the game as fast as DPS units. In the gacha space, that's just a story as old as time. It's just too easy to make a better DPS unit because you just raise and increase some percentages, whereas tactical and support units, of course, they have unique abilities that developers typically don't dole out often, and therefore a premium character like Aizen to be a tactical unit gives him more longevity, which keeps your account stronger and more prepared for content. So amazing. Okay, so his basic attack. Aizen swings his sword, dealing multiple hits of damage to the enemy in front of him. The final blow grants spiritual pressure points, and during a basic attack, using dodge or counter attack will not interrupt the current attack sequence. Kyoko Surigetsu basic attack. He unleashes his Kido while wielding his sword, dealing multiple hits of damage to the enemies in front of him. The first 3 hits grant spiritual pressure points, and with each hit, while the last 2 unleashed attacks considered technical. During his basic attack, using evasion and counter attack will not interrupt the basic attack sequence. So this is really great because very often, I'm sure you guys have noticed when you're doing your combo, the boss will either do an attack that cannot be countered, or an attack that you do need to counter, and if you miss time either action, obviously the boss interrupts you kind of lose your flow, and you have to get back on track with your rotations and things. So being able to evade and or counterattack while still finishing your basic attack, pretty cool. So his technique, Aizen backs up and unleashes a sword strike to deal damage and gain spiritual pressure points. When activated, the technique basic attack buttons will activate. Pressing them will trigger a second stage technique or basic attack, respectively. Activating the technique at the exact moment of the enemy attack will also increase the damage of both the second stage technique and basic attack. So they're trying to add a point of interaction here. Obviously, if you can time the technique as you're being hit, your ability gets powered up by an unknown percentage. Really cool. Appreciate that little addition, kind of like Toshiro's technique, where if you time it as he glows, it instantly feels your spiritual pressure. So, first stage, which I'm assuming is spiritual pressure points 1 to 2. Aizen casts Hado number 63, Rakiko, pulling enemies forward, dealing damage, and gaining spiritual pressure points. Performing a basic attack after using this skill will connect directly to the third hit of the basic attack. That's really awesome. I'll have to see it play out in game. That's great, and we'll also check out the footage after this. I should have had it pulled up before, but I didn't. Please forgive me. So, second stage. Aizen instantly passes through the enemy in front of him, dealing damage and gaining spiritual pressure points. After using the ability when performing a basic attack, connects directly to the third hit of that attack. So, I think I have very rarely encountered a moment where using a technique or ultimate, I get interrupted and knocked out of the animation, and therefore stall. So for Aizen to pass through the enemy reduces the odds of that happening. That's neat, but possibly not material. So his ultimate ability, he unleashes the Zanpakuto, dealing damage to enemies and activating Kyoka Suigetsu. During this state, his abilities, when not on the field, are buffed, and his maximum suppression value is doubled. So suppression is what Aizen builds up while dealing damage on the field, and Kyoka Suigetsu is what happens when he deals damage off field. So during Kyoka Suigetsu, most enemy attacks are about to hit Aizen. He'll automatically trigger a perfect dodge. That's pretty neat. Very excited to see that in game. And after casting the ultimate, his basic attacks receive a damage increase. Counterattack. After blocking the attack, he swings his sword to deal damage, gaining spiritual pressure, and giving 3 stacks of smash. I've seen this called something different, but effectively that will lower their defense, I'm sure. His field skill. So, Kuroho Hitsugi. You have the field skill and the suppression value. Aizen can stack field skill when attacking on the field and to unleash the Kurotsugi field skills, whereas he builds suppression while attacking off screen. Okay, so his suppression value will stack when other teammates' attacks hit. If only Aizen's left on the team, all attacks except I Will Stay in the Sky. I'm sorry, here. All abilities will also stack. When suppression value reaches its maximum, it will enter the complete deletion state. At that point, releasing the field ability in the background will consume all suppression value to increase the damage of the field skill. During Kyoka Suigetsu, the maximum value of suppression is doubled, and so is the damage buff. That's really awesome. It should be seen, but I suspect the suppression value, the more stacks you have, obviously the faster you drain the enemy's Ryatsu. So being able to double that, just incredible. This will fill out the spirit team. I've been using a full spirit team with Momo and Rukia, and while it has been amazing, perfectly able to clear all content, damage is lacking, and there's a lot of downtime where I'm just left on the field with Toshiro swinging my sword, doing my best. So Aizen, so excited to see him on the team. Okay, when he attacks on the field, he accumulates skill points. After reaching the maximum, he can use Kurotsugi to deal damage, applying Smite. I'm sure that this is Ravage or Smash up here. I'm positive it's the same thing, it's just auto-translate error. So in this Kyoka Suigetsu state, you cannot activate Kurotsugi by using the field skill, but it can be activated with basic attacks. I stay in the sky, immediately switch to Aizen to deliver a final blow that deals damage to the enemy. Using this ability will remove the Kyoka Suigetsu state from the ultimate. And lastly, Hypnosis Complete. Aizen has so much going on with as a kid. 3 different abilities. My goodness. And since you can build up... There's a lot of testing to be done with Aizen. I think to see A, how he best plays, and then B, and equally important, how he best plays dependent on the content, because as the developers put in more gimmicks for different bosses, it might be best to have Aizen off-field more than on, and vice versa. So his kit is very layered. There's a lot going on here. He can obtain passive abilities. Aizen can obtain spiritual pressure points through various attack methods. With 3 spiritual pressure points, you can release any field skill and enter a state of spiritual pressure shock for a while. During this duration, his interrupt resistance increases. That's fantastic. He can automatically activate perfect dodge in most cases when the enemy is about to hit him. I'll be very interested to see it play out. I imagine you don't need to press the dodge button. He just does it. So that's neat. During spiritual pressure shock, spiritual pressure points obtained will be converted into enhanced spiritual pressure points. Aizen will consume all enhanced spiritual pressure points by unleashing the Kurotsugi field skill. If 3 points are consumed, switching teammates will automatically release the counterattack, whose damage and spiritual pressure damage reduction effectiveness will be halved. So if you consume 3 points and then switch teammates, the counterattack happens automatically when the new character comes on screen, but then the damage and the amount of spiritual pressure they take away from the enemy is half. So if you would have taken 100, you take 50. Okay. No problems there. It's still free damage ultimately. In addition, for each enhanced spiritual pressure point consumed, the entire team gains a stack Shield of Illusion up to a maximum of 3 stacks. So we'll have to see what Field of Illusion does. I mean, he even does support. I mean, he has the support ability. That's effectively Orihime's or Komomura's ability, right? Giving a shield for damage protection. First passive. When using the field skill, Enhanced Spiritual Pressure Point, will apply an additional stack of Smite to the target up to 6 stacks. The Smite effect is empowered. So if Aizen is in passive 2, if Aizen is in the complete suppression state, when casting his field ability while not on field, the damage of the next Kurotsugi will be increased. Okay, so we've seen this in another part of his kit where they boost his on-field damage. Now they're boosting his off-field damage. They really want to make him an all-rounder. So Aizen's going to be strong, very strong. Passive 3, during the Kyoka Suigetsu state, the crit rate of all characters on the team increases. That's amazing. It goes without saying, of course, you want to run Aizen and Toshiro together. And that's evident by the fact that he's providing critical rate to the entire team. So amazing. And I'd be remiss if I did not share the video. So let's go look at that. Do they have it here? Oh, when you look at the boundaries. So, they don't have the dupes here. It's definitely here. Where are you? Well, we can find the gameplay here, so that's nice.
Hola chavales, bienvenido a un videito más de Bleach Soul
Skip here. And thanks to this guy. Oh, look at him. He's doing his own review. A review within a review. How do I do it? Has he got the video pulled up here? Let's see. Okay. Let's be more...
Open the strike character. Open here, and this is when she lost.
man. So, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And see you for some Aizen pulls tomorrow. Have a good day. Thanks.